Good morning to everyone. Today we start our new chapter which was matter in our surroundings. So now we start our chapter. Anything which occupies space and has mass is called matter. Air and water, hydrogen and oxygen, sugar and sand, silver and steel, copper and coal, iron and wood, ice and alcohol, milk and oil, kerosene and petrol, carbon dioxide and steam, carbon and sulfur, rocks and minerals are all different kinds of matter because all of them occupy space, that is, they have volume and mass. If we look around us, we can see a large number of things of different shapes, size and textures. Many of these things are used by us in our everyday life. For example, we eat food, drink water, breathe in air and wear clothes. We use table and chair for studying and bed for sleeping. We also see the other human beings, various animals, plants and trees around us. The things like food, water, air, clothes, table, chair, human beings, animals, plants and trees, etc. are all examples of matter. The only condition for something to be matter are that it should occupy space and have mass. Now, the things like friendship, love, affection, heart rate, God, manners, thoughts, ideas, taste and smell, etc. do not occupy space and do not have mass. So, from the point of view of chemistry, things like friendship, love, affection, heart rate, God, good manners, thoughts, ideas, taste and smell are not considered matter. Matter can be classified in a number of ways. Ancient Indian philosophers said that all the matter, living or non-living, was made up of 5 basic elements, which was air, earth, fire, sky and water. Modern day scientists classify matter in 2 types, on the basis of its physical properties and on the basis of its chemical properties. On the basis of physical properties, matter is classified as solid, liquid and gases. And on the basis of chemical properties, matter is classified as elements, compounds and mixtures. In this chapter, we will study the classification of matter on the basis of its physical properties. The classification of matter on the basis of its chemical properties will be described in the next chapter. Matter is made up of particles. You know that. Everything around us is made up of tiny pieces of particles. Our body is made of particles. Our chair is made of particles. Our table is made of particles. And this book is also made of particles. The number of particles is everything is, however, very, very large. For example, a small raindrop contains about 10 particles of water in it. The particles which make up matter are so small that we cannot see them even with a high power microscope. Even without seeing them, we have certain evidence which tells us that all the things or the matter is made up of tiny particles. We will now give some example of the evidence which clearly shows that all the matter is made up of tiny particles. This evidence also shows that the particles which make up the matter are constantly moving. They are not in motion. Please note that the particles which make up matter are atoms or molecules. Evidence for particles in nature, in matter. Most of the evidence for the existence of particles in matter and their motion comes from the experiments on diffusion, means mixing of different substances on their own and Brownian motion. It is easy to explain what happens in several experiments if we believe that matter is made up of tiny particles which are in motion. But without the concept of particles, things become very difficult to explain. We will now describe some simple examples like dissolving of a solid in a liquid, mixing of 2 gases and movement of pollen grains in water, which can only be explained by assuming that all matter is made up of tiny particles which are constantly moving. Dissolving a solid in a liquid, potassium and permanganate is a purple colored solid substance and water is a colorless liquid. So we will first study the dissolving of potassium permanganate. In water, when a crystal of potassium permanganate is placed in a beaker of water, the water slowly turns purple on its own even without stirring. The spreading of purple color of potassium permanganate in the whole water or beaker can be explained as follows. Both potassium permanganate as crystal and water are made up of tiny particles. The particles of potassium permanganate are purple colored, whereas the particles of water are colorless. When the potassium permanganate crystal is put in water, particles separate from one another. These purple colored particles of potassium permanganate spread throughout water, making the whole water look purple. Actually, on dissolving, the particles of potassium permanganate get into the spaces between the particles of the water metal in our surroundings. In the experiment, the particles of potassium permanganate and those of water mix on their own without any external spreading. Since the particles of potassium permanganate and particles of water spread into each other and mix up on their own, it is concluded that they are moving or they are in motion. We can see that this was spreading of purple color upwards in the beaker of water as shown us. If the particles were not moving, the color could not spread throughout the beaker on its own. This movement of different particles among each other on their own so that they became mixed uniformly is called diffusion. We will now discuss the case of sugar dissolving in water. When the sugar is added to water and stirred, it dissolves quickly. The sugar seems to be disappear. What happens to the sugar when it dissolves? Where does the sugar go? We can explain how the sugar dissolves and disappears in water by using the idea of particles. Both sugar and water are made up of very small particles. These particles are too small to see even under a microscope. When sugar dissolves, tiny sugar particles break off from each solid sugar granule. These sugar particles go into space between the particles of water and mix with them. So the sugar solution will taste sweet, and even so we cannot see the sugar in it. Please note that in this experiment we have dissolved sugar in water by stirring. This has been done just to dissolve the sugar quickly. Now we discuss about mixing of two gases. Air is colorless gas or mixture of gases. When a jar is empty, it is actually filled with air. This is because since air is colorless, we cannot see it in the gas jar. Bromine is a red-brown liquid. It forms vapor easily. Bromine vapor or bromine gas is a red-brown in color and it is heavier than air. Let us perform the experiment now. A gas jar containing air is placed upside down on a gas jar of bromine vapor. We will see that the red-brown vapors of bromine from the lower gas jar spread up into the air in the upper gas jar, and after some time the gas jar containing air also becomes completely red-brown in color. The spreading up of bromine vapor into air can be explained as follows. Both air and bromine vapors are made of tiny moving particles. The moving particles of bromine vapor and air collide with each other and bounce about in all directions, due to which they get mixed uniformly. This is another example of diffusion. Now, movement of pollen grains in water. The best evidence for the existence of the movement of particles in liquid was given by Robert Brown in 1827. On looking through the microscope, it was found that the pollen grains were moving rapidly throughout water in a very irregular way or in zigzag way. It was also observed that warmer the water, faster the pollen grains move on the surface of water. The movement of pollen grains on the surface of water can be explained as follows. Water is made up of tiny particles which are moving very fast. The water particles or water molecules themselves are invisible under the microscope because they are very, very small. The pollen grains move on the surface of water because they are constantly being hit by the fast moving particles of water. So the water particles or water molecules are too small to be seen, but their effect on the pollen grains can be seen clearly. The random motion of visible particles means pollen grains caused by the much smaller invisible particles of water is an example of Brownian motion, after the name of scientist Robert Brown, who first observed this phenomenon. matter in our surroundings. So we cannot see the particles or molecules of air which are extremely small, but we can see the effect produced by their continuous and fast motion. The rapid and random movement of teeny dust particles or smoke suspended in air shows that air is made up of particles, and that particles of air are moving constantly. We can now define bromine motion as follows: the zigzag movement of the small particles suspended in a liquid or gas is called Brownian motion. Now some characteristics of particles of matter are: the particles of matter are very small, the particles of matter have spaces between them, the particles of matter are constantly moving, the particles of matter attract each other also. And at last, thank you very much for listening my video. This is first part of this chapter. Now in next video we discuss a second part. Okay, thank you very much.